Before the United States became a global power, it was a fragile new republic struggling for survival. Britain considered the American Revolution an act of rebellion. European monarchies watched cautiously from a distance. But across the Atlantic Ocean, one ruler could make a historic decision. A Moroccan sultan would become the first head of state to formally recognize American independence. In 1776, 13 American colonies declared independence from Britain. At the time, the United States had no stable alliances, weak finances, and little international recognition. Recognition by foreign nations was essential. It meant legitimacy, trade opportunities, and diplomatic survival. At the same time, Morocco was ruled by Sultan Mohammed bin Abdallah, also known as Mohammed III. The Sultan was an experienced diplomat and strategist. He wanted Morocco to expand trade and strengthen its international position. Morocco controlled important Atlantic trade routes linking Europe, Africa, and the Americas. This decision effectively recognized the United States as an independent nation. In December 1777, Sultan Mohammed III declared that American ships could freely enter Moroccan ports. At the time, this was an extraordinary move. The Revolutionary War was still ongoing. The recognition was partly practical. Morocco sought trade and maritime stability, but it also gave the young United States a critical diplomatic victory. These Americans seek friendship and commerce, then Morocco shall open its ports. Years later, the relationship deepened further with a formal treaty. In 1786, the two nations signed the Moroccan-American Treaty of Friendship. It remains one of the oldest unbroken diplomatic relationships in American history. The treaty protected commerce, shipping rights, and peaceful relations between the two countries. At a time when piracy and maritime conflict threatened Atlantic trade, such agreements were extremely important. In 1821, Morocco gave the United States a diplomatic building in Tangier. It became the first American diplomatic property outside the United States. Today, the Tangier American Legation Museum stands as a symbol of one of America's oldest international friendships. Despite its significance, many Americans know little about Morocco's role in recognizing U.S. independence. American history often focuses heavily on Europe, especially France, but North African diplomacy also shaped the early republic. The relationship also challenges common assumptions about early American diplomacy and the Islamic world. Morocco was one of the first Muslim-majority nations to establish formal ties with the United States. In the late 18th century, the United States was uncertain, divided, and vulnerable. Across the ocean, a Moroccan ruler extended recognition and friendship before many European powers would do the same. More than 2 centuries later, that decision remains part of a remarkable diplomatic legacy. The first nation to recognize American independence was not France, not Spain, not the Netherlands. It was Morocco.